News and programming is sponsored by Desert View Hospital, providing emergency medical care around the clock at 360 South Lola Lane. Learn more at desertviewhospital.com. Physicians are not employees or agents of this hospital. News is also brought to you by J.K. Nelson Law. Call 727-9900 today for your free consultation. If you need a lawyer, you need Nelson. News 46 is also brought to you by Humana, serving the community. Please stop in at 1397 South Loop Road on the corner of Loop and Highway 160.
Tonight on News 46, a family loses their home to fire.
And several people are injured in a 3-vehicle crash.
News 46 starts now.
You're watching KPVM News 46 with Deanna O'Donnell. And Eunette Gentry. News 46, local coverage you can count on.
A home on Dandelion Street is completely destroyed by flames. It's January 2nd. I'm Deanna O'Donnell.
And I'm Eunette Gentry.
A tragic start to the new year as a family is displaced after their home caught fire last night on Dandelion Street.
Just after 9:00 p.m., we were dispatched for a report of a structure fire. Crews arrived in short fashion and found a pressurized heavy smoke emanating from the eaves and along the front gables of the structure. Within seconds of our arrival during the scene, size-up fire presented through the roof near the roof-mounted HVAC. The interior was investigated and found to be tenable. We had commenced an offensive interior attack. As crews went in, they found that the attic was involved from one end of the structure to the other. It was heavy fire blowing out of the actual ceiling-mounted grills for the HVAC, which is the heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. Crews pulled the ceilings. However, that roof-mounted HVAC started leaning towards the interior of the structure. A lot of the roof, the ceiling, that was like not the ceiling, but the roof tiles were starting to fall in on the firefighters as well. So at one point we pulled them back, used a defensive exterior attack using a monitor, knocked the heavy fire down, then went back to a modified interior and finished up the job.
Was there a delay in notification on this fire?
Yes, there was. It was at least approximately between 1 and 2 hours delay notification. The occupants had smelled smoke over a period of time, but they attributed it to use of their fireplace. At one point, they even erected a ladder at the back. They were going to plan to clean the chimney out the next morning. It was only when fire was observed at the grills that they realized that they actually had a working structure fire and called 911.
Does it appear to have started from the chimney or fireplace area?
The area of origin is right where the chimney and the smoke pipe come from the top of the fireplace through the roof surface.
So the chimneys need to be cleaned regularly, right?
Not just cleaned, but inspected for any deformities, cracks, separations. There could be a number of issues. Maybe just even overheating over a period of time can delaminate the materials.
It appears that this house is completely destroyed. It's not livable at all.
Yeah, and again, it was the bulk of the fire was in the attic space. So with the roof compromised and the ceiling compromised, those materials came down into the living space.
You had a master stream trying to knock that down. It was a real hot fire for a long time.
It was. It was a very dangerous fire in the early stages because the ceiling started collapsing early on, as well as that tiled roof surface we talked about. And again, having the roof-mounted HVAC was hanging precariously on its mounts right over where the firefighters were operating.
So if you smell smoke, don't delay. It's better to be cautious and give 911 a call.
Yeah, our message is if something's not right and there's a different type of odor than that you usually experience with the use of a fireplace, call 911. Have us come out and check it to make sure you're not experiencing an actual fire within the structure.
Is Red Cross been called for this family?
The family right now is staying with a neighbor who is a close friend.
And then is there going to be an investigation by the State Fire Marshal, or Pahrump Valley Farm Rescue is conducting the investigation?
We'll be finishing the investigation. The state has not been called on this.
All right. And you guys were back out there this morning, right?
We were. We were actually dispatched again for some smoldering insulation material, and it was found that there was small pockets of not actual fire, but just smoldering debris.
No injuries?
No injuries.
A motorcyclist is dead after crashing on Highway 160 in Las Vegas New Year's Day. Blue Diamond Road was reduced to one lane while the Nevada Highway Patrol's major accident investigation team looked into the reason for the accident that took the life of a Las Vegas resident. The crash happened on the roadway between Las Vegas and Pahrump around 3:30 p.m. in the southbound lanes. NHP says the man was riding a 2016 Harley Davidson. The name of that victim has not yet been released.
And several people were injured in a three-car crash that resulted in a rollover Saturday night in the center of town.
We were dispatched a report of a three-vehicle accident with one vehicle resting on its roof. Well, upon arrival, we found the accident as reported. We found two occupants in the overturned vehicle that was resting on its roof were still in the vehicle, so we upgraded to a rescue assignment. Our crews came in, extricated those two folks without incident. We then found that we had a total of 6 patients that were transported, 4 of which were transported, and the others were AMA.
And there was a secondary collision with one of the vehicles, right? The minivan hit another object.
It's my understanding that there was the initial collision between 2 vehicles. As the one vehicle then went into a rollover type of action and landing on its roof, it was a second collision that occurred.
So do you know how this accident occurred at this point?
I know NHP was investigating. It's my understanding somebody may have pulled out from the one of the businesses there and clipped the other vehicle.
All right. And all transported locally?
All transported local.
A rider in a golf cart was airlifted to a Las Vegas trauma center after crashing into a vehicle traveling on the highway Sunday afternoon.
We were dispatched a report of a 2-vehicle accident. It was initially dispatched as a moped versus vehicle, but upon our arrival we found it was actually a golf cart that had been involved. It was a T-bone type of accident. There was a significant injury sustained from the golf cart rider, and those injuries warranted flight. Mercy Air 21 was added to our assignment, and they actually landed at the LZ on Highway 372. Patient care was transferred, and that patient then subsequently was flown to trauma.
We spoke to Nevada Highway Patrol, who stated that these golf carts aren't supposed to be on the highways.
It's correct, and it is part of the NHP's investigation as to how that accident occurred. But obviously, totally preventable, and but the injuries were serious, and that patient was flown.
And the other patient in the other vehicle?
There was the other person was not injured, so it was only one patient.
More news, including a plane that landed on the highway after this break.